So it's either that, and this is a viable conversation, it's either that or Haunted Mansion and Tiana's Bayou Adventure are doing an exceptional. What if those two closures have been hiding this whole time? Wow, I'm really shocked, really shocked. Tiana's Bayou Adventure is on standby as of today, and this has me wondering if the impact is being felt elsewhere around the park. Is it the price of the ticket, or is it something else? This is our State of Disneyland Report. This is Fresh Baked. That's the calm before the storm, Fresh Baked. A little bit of peace that I'm gonna have, I think, before we get into this day, this State of Disneyland Report. Welcome back, everybody. We're here on a Tuesday. Hi, thank you guys. We are here on a Tuesday afternoon to bring in the State of Disneyland Report. Was not able to get here on the Monday, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. This is going to be, actually we're lucky because it's going to work in our favor for a few things we're going to find later on in the park, but I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on, because it's a bit of a story today. I believe there's kind of an interesting confluence of things happening in the park with respect to the reservation calendar and the ticket prices, etc., and the fact that it's Christmas. I'm really looking forward to this, as I always am. I mean, gosh, I love doing State of Disneyland Reports. Listen to me gush. I'm looking forward to this. Let's not waste any time. Let's get that vibe check down Main Street. Should we start a petition to have Christmas music play on Main Street year-round? It just makes me so happy. It makes me feel at peace and at ease. It is one of the greatest feelings you'll have, listening to Christmas music on Main Street in Town Square. Incredible, right? As I mentioned, we are here on a Tuesday. It is 12:03, just after noon, about 71 degrees. We had a Santa Ana wind blow in last night, so it's warmed the parks up a bit. A little toasty out here, perfectly clear. The winds blow out all of the clouds, all of the overcast skies, and you get this blindingly bright sensation when you're in the park around high noon. It's incredibly bright out here right now. I'm not even sure if my camera can handle this.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
In just a few minutes, we invite you to join the Disneyland Band, Mickey Mouse and Friends, for the happiest march-along on Earth. Come follow the band as we march from Sleeping Beauty Castle to Town Square. Meet us at the castle for the happiest march-along on Earth, beginning in just a few minutes.
That's always a good time. Great show. If you ever get the chance to catch that, please do. As for Main Street here, if this is any indication, I think we are in for a busy day. This is a little more dense, a little bit more hectic and busy than we normally find on our vibe checks for State of Disneyland Report. Not incredibly so, but enough to notice. And I expect that we will be noticing in short order. But before we get into that, before we get into the rest of the park, let's get back up to the Main Street station for the Disneyland Railroad and take a look at the reservation calendar, which it's kind of a nightmare. Get into things as usual with the single day ticket calendar, and first look at the prices. We are tier 3 today, which my first reaction when I saw that on the calendar, like $164. It is less than, it is 2 weeks before Christmas. This is prime time for the Christmas season. Like, now is the time to be here. It's even better than the week before, I think. For me, I don't know. I feel like I'm very much in the Christmas spirit, and this is the time to be here. And it's 164 tier 3. Shocking. I'm just. They could have easily made that tier 4, tier 5, tier 6 even. They could have easily. And that's not. And even next week, Next week, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I'm looking at now, the 16th is 180. The 20th is 180. This Friday is 164. Keep Friday in mind, by the way. I've got comments on that. As for availability, this is where things get, I just mentioned that. This is where things get interesting. For the first time, and as long as I can remember, I see 2 dates, not sold out, but DCA start. Christmas Day, obviously, but interestingly, not New Year's Eve. Christmas Day and Friday the 13th. Now, this day has become something of a albatross for me personally, and I know there's a few out there as well. I just posted something on Twitter like, what's going on Friday the 13th? It has been locked, literally locked. Not a single date has flipped. I've been watching this calendar for the better part of 3 weeks. It's been going on a month now, as I understand it, that Friday has been locked, unreservable, not even a cancellation to flip. It has never popped up, and going on almost a month now, Friday the 13th. And for the life of me, I can't understand. I understand that it's the last week for Believe Keys, and no, I'm sorry, next week is last week for Believe Keys. Enchant and Imagine are blocked out, but still, what single day ticket? Why are the single day tickets the ones selling out for Friday the 13th? This has been such a nerve-wracking couple of weeks for me because it's so frustrating to sit there and have to pay that much attention to a single date to try to book it, because I very much like getting Fridays. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm really surprised to actually see a quasi sold out day here on the single day ticket calendar. The Christmas Day doesn't surprise me, but that 13th does. And then obviously January's wide open. I don't know. I can't wait. I hope I do get that date, because I may make that a 2-part show. I may do my construction recon in the morning and then get in here and figure out just what the hubbub is about for Friday the 13th coming up. Let's now look at the Inspire key. Dirty, just plain dirty. And again, this December has probably been the most nerve-wracking week or month that I can recall, post-COVID, post-reservation system ever. I have had a heck of a time getting dates. I've been paying way too much attention to it. Right, look at that calendar right now. You can get today right now, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all booked up. The weekdays have been popping up sporadically. There's been cancellations, and you can pick them up if you're paying attention. But that Friday has been locked. That 13th has been unreservable for, like I said, going on a month now. And then next week is looking, it's starting to thin out. By the time if I were to look at this, probably next Monday, that calendar will be gone. It'll be dead. And then we get into the blockout period that starts on the 21st. All Magic Keys will be blocked out starting the 21st through, what is it? I want to say January 3rd. Yeah, January 3rd. 2 weeks. And that's going to be an interesting stretch. Again, I'm going to try to be here to capture. I have some reservations that have been made available to me through GetAwayToday, through our relationship with them. They're making it possible for me to get out here to the park a few days during that time period. So I will be on the scene during those 2 weeks. I will be here to check that out. But it has been pretty bleak trying to make reservations as a Magic Key holder. Even for somebody as diligent and vigilant as I am having a lot of difficulty. There will be days that I just can't go. And then there's January, which again, the Magic Keys come back online on Saturday the 4th, and then immediately we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those next 7 days are those like, hey, come to Disneyland after New Year's Eve. It's going to be dead. People aren't interested in coming to Disneyland. I beg to differ. You look at the prices for that week. It's high. It's like tier 4, tier 5, tier 6. Not cheap, not easy to get in here. Again, that's contrary to what I would think is the conventional thinking. But January is the first week of January, very, very busy week at the Disneyland Resort. I can't wait to see how all this plays out. And to be honest, I really don't think there's any hope. There's any hope of that situation ever getting any better. I'm very pessimistic when it comes to overcoming the reservation calendar. The only possible relief for Magic Key holders is them selling a key that, Premier key. Word sounds familiar, right? A Premier key where there are no reservations or there are no blockout dates. You can just go whenever you want. And I use that word specifically Premier because I feel like there is at least a small amount of thought that the Premier Pass, the Lightning Lane Premier Pass that you can buy for $400 that gives you one-time access to every attraction in the park without waiting. That's almost it's almost a test, a beta, if you will, for something like that for Magic Keys. I see no reason why they shouldn't or wouldn't do it, because there are people who will pay a premium price for a pass like that. I don't know if it's 20x, because that's basically what the Premier Pass is about 20x, maybe 15x on the regular price of a Lightning Lane. But there are people who will pay a premium for sure for that ability. It may not be everyone, and they would just add that. That would be a fifth key. It wouldn't replace the Inspire key. It would just be a fifth key, just like the Premier Pass doesn't replace Lightning Lane multi-pass. But I'm gonna keep my eyes and ears open for something like that. I do think there's a possibility that could happen. I feel like they've been priming us for years. I keep talking. I said this at the very beginning. They want to make it so miserable. They want to make it so frustrating that you have no point. You have no choice but to say yes. Okay, I'll spend the money. That's the actual plan. The actual plan is to make you angry and frustrated. It's gonna work for me, I think. Let's go to Adventureland. I need to get into something that makes me happy. And that's the sound of the Tiki Room. Tangaroa. All right, what do we got here? It is 12:14 as we enter Adventureland. And the good news today, as we begin our analysis of the park as it unfolds before us, the good news today is that pretty much everything is open. The only attraction that should be closed today is Big Thunder. If I'm remembering correctly, everything is open and everything is as it normally should be, even Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
It's all meet up with.
As for Adventureland, it looks a little hectic, a little hairy in here. I mean, it's actually pretty standard for Adventureland, I think. It's not too bad. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Jungle Cruise is posted at 30 minutes, and this is pretty standard for Jungle Cruise also. The current status upstairs is full, but okay, there's some sun. Upstairs to the right is empty. As for me personally, I'm good. Anytime I see just the left side with guests, it's fine if it's upstairs. Just the left side, I'm good. Jungle Cruise moves so well, it's so consistent, so reliable. I'm good with waiting that left side, and that's always a go situation for me. As for Indiana Jones, posted at 55 minutes, let's go take a look. Well, look at that, we can actually cross the street without any difficulty. That was, okay, that's good. That's good, man. I was almost kind of waiting there for something to happen, and it didn't. Oh, wow. Oh, no, I'm good, thank you.
Fresh meat!
Hey, guys, how are you? Just seeing any part of the queue empty is a good sign at the outset. You like to see any kind of empty, but oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Okay. What? That is not 55. They're using maybe half of this queue, and I figured all of the whole queue, if it's full, you know, every part of the queue is full out here. It's about 30 minutes. So you're looking at maybe 15 minutes there. That is a definite go. You are winning right now if you enter this queue seeing 55 and you get this as a result. This is a very good sign. And by the way, that's the only guest right there. We just seen the only guest in Lightning Lane. So there's very little influence on there right now. Wow, we are off to a roaring start, a very good start for Standby today on what I was expected to be a bonkers day. Tier 3, $164, Schools are probably out. A lot of schools are out yet. No, they're not out yet. Not yet. I think it's the week before that they go out. But anyway, magical time to be in the parks right now. Christmas is in full bloom, and it's perfect weather. There's nothing wrong with the park today, other than it being a Tuesday. That's about it. Something that I didn't get into, it never fails. As soon as I turn the camera on, boom, there's one. Something that I didn't get into, or I only touched on briefly, was the fact that today is the last week for Enchant. They're done after this week. Inspire Keys are done next week. Believe Keys, I think, are done starting Thursday or Friday. Where are the guests for Pirates? Is it closed? It's the only thing I could think of. There's no guests in the bridge. Yeah, Enchants are done on Friday, and Believes are done, I think, prior to next Friday. In any case, things are winding down for key holders, so they should be showing up. If you could get a reservation, that is. Oh, it's open. It's posted at 30 minutes. Very curious. It looks really dense right here, right? That looks like a really tight-packed Pirates queue. But that's it. It stops. They're making a U-turn right here at the bridge. I'm flummoxed. This is more curious than Indiana Jones. I can't make it. I don't know, man. I feel like it shouldn't be this way. I don't know the answer, but let's check in on Lightning Lane. And indeed, Lightning Lane is still very much a thing. Smattering of guests using it. There's not a lot of people here using it. Why? Just, you know what? Why, Disney? Why? I'm gonna screen this from the rooftops for as long as I have to. I know that they're eventually gonna do it. Eventually they will do it. They will take Pirates off Lightning Lane. But why are they waiting? You know what? Haunted Mansion is on standby and it's on Lightning Lane. Tiana's Bayou Adventure also on standby now and on Lightning Lane, which is coming up, by the way. We're on our way there. So they've added 2 attractions to the stable of Lightning Lane attractions multipass in the past month. How are you guys? In the past month, and they have not taken Pirates off. That was Disney said the reason why they put Pirates on is because the other ones were off. Now, like I said, I think they will, because it just doesn't need it. Pirates doesn't need it in the same way that Haunted Mansion didn't need virtual queue or Tiana's didn't need virtual queue. It doesn't need it, and it shouldn't have it. But I just want them to follow through. That's all. And every day that goes by, it's a day that I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is something that this is a hill that I'm going to die on, as they say. And every time I get a chance, I'm going to remind everybody and anybody else who's listening, please take Pirates off of Lightning Lane. Thank you.
I was thinking.
Meanwhile, as we head into New Orleans Square, feels busy in the streets. Kind of busy in the streets, but it's not showing up so far in the queues. Let's actually check out Tiana's, where it is 12:29. Prime time, right? Prime time for lunch. A lot of tables. I can see some tables out there. You guys, I can see tables. Let's see the queue in here. Oh my. There you go. Now we're talking. It's been a minute since I've seen a queue like this at Tiana's. Both sides are full and operational, which is great. Even at this, though, you know what? Let's do a little recon while we're here. This is one of the few opportunities that I get to watch a fully operational Tiana's queue to see how long it takes. We'll mark it from the polls here, not the excess group. So we'll see how long it takes for them to place their order and get their food. And we have our result just over 9 minutes from the point where we marked the queue to getting to the register and paying for your food. Just over 9 minutes. That's to order your food, get served, and to check out. That's pretty good. 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes. Meanwhile, the mobile order return time for Tiana's right now is almost an hour. You can't do that well with a regular quick service dining location. Only at locations like Tiana's that has the buffeteria style service. And by the way, that's under less than ideal conditions where we had a queue approaching or going almost out the door when we got there. And it did get out the door for a minute. Even in that worst case scenario, you're looking at maybe just 10 minutes or so. Couple of did you knows as we make our way out of Tiana's Palace. They have extended the service time for that special beignet, the beignets that Tiana makes in the film. The powdered sugar and the honey glaze on top. They were supposed to be here just for 3 days, but it sounds like they're going to be running those or selling those all the way through the holiday season into January, which is great news. I haven't tried one yet, so I need to get on that. The other thing to note, recently I tried the salad they have here, the muffaletta salad, which is quite good, better than the muffaletta sandwich. Be advised that it does take a little while for them to prepare that sandwich for guests because they make it from scratch for every single guest. They don't have pre-made salads, which is both a pain and wonderful. It's very rare that you get stuff made fresh at a theme park, but they do make those salads fresh, and it does take a minute. They toss it and add in all the little accoutrements. And it takes a minute because I see guests often. I was one of those where they have to wait by the side and have them. They bring the salad out to you because it took a little while for them to prepare it. I think it's kind of sweet, kind of nice. We have arrived at Haunted Mansion. Things look pretty standard out here. Last time we were here doing a State of Disneyland Report, they had just opened standby like the day before, I think it was. So it's kind of new and fresh, and we didn't really get a chance to talk about it much in that report. And since then, it's been pretty steady. Haunted Mansion has been pretty steady. Not a lot of good opportunities to catch the attraction on anything under a 60-minute wait. And that's pretty much what you're going to find right now. You get here anytime after maybe 10 or 11 a.m., and you're going to find a very sticky queue. It's posted 55 minutes. I haven't done a lot of recon on this, so I don't really know yet what some of the benchmarks are. And it all depends really on Lightning Lane, as usual, as always, because I've waited in a very similar queue to these right now twice. One time it was 35 minutes, the other time it was 75 minutes, and the back of the queue was in basically the same spot. And that 40 minutes difference was for two reasons. Well, actually 3 reasons, I should say. The first was because there was an enormous amount of Lightning Lane being checked in. The first iteration that I did was around 11 o'clock or so. So there was fewer Lightning Lane guests at that time, but it did get busier, much busier. Lightning Lane did after that, I noted on that day. Whereas the second trip was at night, about 8 o'clock, and it was bonkers. Lightning Lane was bonkers. Other 2 variables, the extended queues. This queue right here, which is good, this can be in, hi guys. This particular part of the queue can be in 3 different states. It can be empty, full, or in this case, about half full. Now this is good. You're saving about, where it is right now, half full, you're saving about 8 minutes back here. I measured this, I think, the one time I cycled through the entire thing, it was like 15 minutes. So you want to check this if you can, to see what state is in it, because you could pretty much subtract, I would think, that 7 or 8 minutes from this queue from the top for that 55 minutes, all things being equal. The third variable is the rear queue, the old-fashioned rear queue that they remodeled to add that mausoleum back there. That is a queue where they can trim it in half or by thirds. I have been in a queue where it was running just about a third of its normal length, and that just took a few minutes. When it's operating full, when it's full, like I think it is now, it's about 20 minutes. It's harder though to get eyes back here. You have to come all the way back here by the train station. This is train station right here, Magnolia Park. So it's difficult to put eyes on the queue, but it does pay. It does help to know that you're going to pay full price in that queue for that back section back there, but you're going to get, actually now it's even less busy here. They're closing it. You'll note that the cast has put the gate up right here, which means they're done with this queue, which is kind of surprising because I don't think it's going to get less busy. I don't know what's inspiring them to do that. I would just let the guests go in there. But so now you can cut off 15 minutes here probably off the top of that wait time that's posted out there, which is currently 55 minutes. This will very soon become, it is already, one of those queues where it pays to do a little bit of recon on your own to figure out where the back of the queue is. Find the back of the queue, find out which extended sections are being used or not used, and it's going to often be those two sections that I just pointed out. Only on the rarest of occasions. What's going on? Only on the rarest of occasions will they have you skip this queue back here, the new queue, the extended queue. Very rarely will they have you skip that. I've seen a few occasions. In the early morning, the guests that go into standby are going to go straight into that part of the queue back there. They won't even make the left. I've seen on one occasion where they did make the left, but they went up the right side that runs alongside this queue, and then they came right back around and then went in. That's maybe 10 o'clock or so. And then after that, they're going to definitely be using this queue, and then the variables become, as I mentioned, the rear covered area back there and the mausoleum. Big fan I am of what they did to the queue. I really like it. I know that they use some sort of off-the-shelf theming elements. I'm fine with that, to be honest. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't operate under the misconception that they're handcrafting every single piece of themed elements in the park and at every attraction, and nor do I even believe that they did that in the past. I'm pretty sure they didn't. But in any case, I'm very fond of what they've done there, and I really like it. If you guys are looking to take part in Haunted Mansion and plan a trip to the Disneyland Resort, you should. First of all, it's a beautiful time to be in the parks right now, or even in coming months. I do ask or do wish that you would choose our Getaway Today, our travel affiliate. They are an affiliate of ours. They're friends of the show, and we are friends of them as well. We are fans of what they do. They are one of the best travel agents you can find. They are particularly obsessed with Disney, with Disneyland, all Disney parks, but they do also serve Universal and cruises and Aulani and all that as well. There's a link in the description. Use that link to make your plans. Tell them Fresh Baked sent you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful trip. Things do seem to be settling down here, actually, in New Orleans Square. As I've been recording this little segment, they've closed up a section of the queue. Does that mean that they have adjusted the wait time? I bet you they have. Keep going. And sure enough, they closed that section, and now it's 45 minutes. So I'm calling that 15 minutes back there. They're saying it's a 10-minute savings. But if you had found that 55, now I gotta wonder. Like I said, take 10 minutes off, but now you can't. So how do you know if it's okay to knock off the 10 minutes? That's a really, really good question. And that's what's going to be answered by Fresh Baked when we get to do when we get into a lot of recon on this attraction. We're going to be spending, look, the holidays have been consuming all of my time, and I haven't been able to get in here and measure times very much. But we will be answering that question. We will be determining where the 55-minute mark is. Where's the 45-minute mark in a standby queue, typically? So I would say right now, if I saw a posted 45 and that back queue was empty, I would probably trust that 45 minutes. I guess that's what I'm saying at this point. And there is the, very controversial now. It's getting more controversial by the day. Madame Leota's gift shop, Somewhere Beyond. They've replaced the Raleigh Crump looking signs. Hey guys. They had this sign here was formerly a Raleigh Crump looking thing, but now it's the formal, or it's a proper Madame Leota sign. But they still haven't done much to the exteriors, to make them look anything more worthy of a New Orleans Square place. I'm trying to be patient with this. I'm hoping that by the time they open, they add some of the stuff here, some of these items that make it look a little bit more, Gothic and New Orleans Squaresy. But right now, I find myself agreeing with a lot of the folks who say this kind of sucks. It kind of sucks, and I actually know a couple things. I've been advised on some particulars that I'm trying to decide. I'm not sure whether or not I want to talk about it or not, because I don't know, man, it's rough. This building, this whole thing is rough, man. I don't like it. I'm trying to be patient though. I'm trying real hard, Ringo. I'm trying to be the shepherd. You guys hear that? That was the sound of people screaming at Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Today, this Tuesday, the 10th, marks the first day that Tiana's Bayou Adventure is allowing standby guests. And I have not checked the tip board at all so far to see how that's going. So this will be quite a discovery as we arrive. Crowd density feels pretty typical, pretty normal. Oh, there it is. That says 75 minutes. I don't know if you guys can see that. 75 minutes standby. The good news is, I was expecting 75 minutes, let's just say that. Lots of demand for Tiana's right now, so 75 minutes is actually about where it should be, about where I would have expected. But even back in the day, Splash Mountain, on a typical day, on a busy, warm day, it would have been a 45 to 60 minute attraction by itself. I mean, so it's, I guess what I'm saying is that 75 is not unexpected, it's standard. It's a little higher than standard, I think, because of the demand. But the good thing is that they're using the queue. I noted in our last construction report that I was a little off-put by the fact that they were using the switchbacks in the rear part of the land and not using, there were no guests in this brand new beautiful queue that they made. This part of the queue is empty. But they are filling it up, which is great, as the way it should be. They do look quite posted. I have no idea what the Recon is, what the measurables are here. I don't even know what the sections are yet. Another attraction where I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the queues in the near future, building up a database of info. But this looks pretty nasty. I gotta say, this looks pretty nasty. When I say that, what I mean is they look like they're not moving. It looks full and dense. Well, actually, that part of the queue is moving. Hi, that part of the queue is moving right there. Lightning lane, this is it right here. Oh my gosh, they built a little switchback for Lightning Lane because the scanner, well, that's single rider. That's not, okay, so there is no Lightning Lane. This is it. These two guests are the only people in the Lightning Lane queue. This is single rider. Fascinating. And they've already had to make an ad hoc queue. That's not ideal. Well, they were not prepared for that. I guess they don't want to send them out that way, which is the whole point. You know, they built this queue so they didn't have to do that anymore, I think. But now you've got this. Oh boy, that is, oh man, how full is that queue? Because there's a lot of space to put single rider guests further along in there. Wow, that's gonna take some recon too, figuring that out. This is not the whole of the single rider queue. Just know that. You're a single rider guest and you want to go on Tiana's Bayou Adventure and you see that queue. Do not believe, hi guys, all right, do not believe that that's it. There's a lot more. It's kind of like Space Mountain. Space Mountain has that segmented single rider queue also. That's not it. There's way more inside the building as well. I don't know how much more. I don't know how many guests they can fit in there. That's going to take some. It's going to take some study. My gosh. So first day of standby is in full effect. Oh my gosh, they're using the full queue out there and out here. Oh no. What do they do when they fill all this up? What are they gonna do? If. I don't think it's likely. Today is a particularly warm day for December. So that's kind of a perfect storm in a bad way. Opening day of standby. It's very toasty out. And they're using all of that queue. My goodness. Wow, wow, wow. Now, where do they send them? Where do they send more? The good news, Lightning Lane is empty. I don't see anybody in the Lightning Lane queue. I've seen just those two guests a little while ago, so that's good. But they are already approaching max capacity for the proper queue. You've got this switchback, the back of the queue is going in that direction. You got this one right here, and that's pretty much it. Is there any more back there? No. Yeah, it's just those two switchbacks. Yeah, this one right here, when they first make that right and go down, they're gonna make a U-turn, they're gonna fill that queue up. That's a couple hundred guests. Where do they go? Do they go? Where do they go? Do they do the old school thing and send them around the corner in front of the, oh my gosh. But you know what, they can't. They can't do it old school. Old school, they would have set the queue back that way and the guests would have come in this direction, but they would have made a left right here. They would not have gone down the hill and gone around the briar patch. They would have made a left right here and head down this little windy path, then along towards Splash Mountain. You can't send the queue. I don't think you can. You can't send the queue this direction because then it would block this little choke point right here. It would interfere with the Hungry Bear, and it absolutely would interfere with the briar patch or raised berets. What are they gonna do if that happens? I almost want it to happen. I want to be here when, today is the perfect day though. And by the time that the temperatures go up again, because they won't, hi guys, it won't stay 75 here for very long. By the time that, the temperatures will go back down, there'll be less demand to ride Splash or Tianas. And then when they come back up again in March or whatever, the demand will be down. So maybe they don't ever have to worry about that. Or maybe they do next summer. Well, here's the best plan that I could come up with while I was standing there watching the queue. It's just not getting worse, so that's good. They're able to cycle enough guests out of there so that it doesn't keep getting worse. But if it does, I think the best plan is to just change the ratio. Change the mix ratio at the mix point. Instead of 10-to-1 for Lightning Lane, make it 2 or 3-to-1. Allow a few more standby guests in there. Just clear that queue out a little bit. And then you can get back to doing the nonsense that you normally do with Lightning Lane. Hi guys, how are you? Speaking of nonsense, remember we were talking about Tiana's Palace and how I said you're not going to find a 10-minute wait at normal quick service dining locations. We're at the Hungry Bear. Look at this, guys. Look at that! Wow. They showed up at the Hungry Bear. It is presently 1:18, and that is bonkers. I'm gonna guess, wow, oh man. Figure, like I said, I've always said maybe 2 or 3 minutes per order. So you just have to kind of guess how many groups, how many orders are gonna be placed, and then multiply that by 3. Oh my God, I'm gonna say an hour. I mean, that's conservative, actually, because there's more than 20 groups here, right? There's more than 20 people, obviously, but some of these, there's groups of 2, 3, 4, whatever. Maybe sometimes you might get a 2-minute order in there instead of a 3-minute order, but this is an hour, at minimum. I'm gonna have to do some Recon here too someday. Meanwhile, the mobile order return time right now is at 61 minutes, though one could easily refresh that down to 30 minutes easily. Matter of fact, when I first opened the app, it said 36 minutes, then it jumped up to 61. It could easily jump back down to 36. I guess what I'm saying is use mobile order, please. I'm begging you. Not a lot of tables back here. There are a few. Always come to the back. I just go straight to the back always. You'll find a couple tables like these at the very rear of the seating locations. There goes Mark Twain. How delightful. I don't even try. I can't remember the last time I've eaten in the front half of this space. Looks like the canoes are online. Nothing in the water at the moment. That's because they were letting the Mark Twain go by. But the canoes are open. Here comes the batch. Gosh golly, I love the river. Oh, there goes the Mark Twain. So we put behind us the 2 biggest draws here at Disneyland right now, Haunted Mansion and Tiana's back to back. By the way, taking a lot of pressure off other attractions around the park, taking a lot of pressure off places like Galaxy's Edge and its neighbor, Rise of the Resistance. Do you think there is an effect? There should be, right? There should be an effect on Rise. Let's find out. Maybe not. They are not out here quite. They're using just a little smidgen of Section 4. I don't like to see them using Section 4, any kind of it, at any point, ever. That's usually a no-go for me. Man. They look quite posted. Rice is still getting it done, man. Rice, how many guests are inside the queue right now and on a vehicle? How many guests do you think does this attraction hold? It's got to be a lot. Significant. But it looks like they're very posted, very sticky. I don't like the looks of that queue at all. I'm gonna guess 75 minutes for standby, maybe more, maybe 90. Wow, shocked. And I don't think it is 75 or 90, but that's what they would call it, but they're calling it 60. Calling it 60. There's Lightning Lane. And there's a queue there too. Oh man, there's no way that's 60 minutes right now. Guys, turn and run. You see this situation right here, turn and run. You got a queue, it's starting to build. Oh, pardon me. It's starting to build for Lightning Lane. That is significant also. How are they calling it 60? Yeah, walk away. Walk away. Walk away. Then go watch our video on hacking Rise of the Resistance queue. Hey, how's it going? And then come back in a little bit later. Come back a little bit later. I'll bet you anything as we head down to the marketplace and Docking Bay 7, where we're going to get the Tatooine Sunset from. Oh, is it time for lunch? They have a new sandwich. They do have a new sandwich at Ronto Roasters. They've got a deli sandwich, not a Ronto wrap. An actual, well, it's a sandwich. It's a deli sandwich, deli meats. I think it's in, it might be still in a Ronto wrap, or a wrap. I don't know. We should go do both. Now I'm excited. By the way, I was going to finish my thought. It'll be more than 60 by the time we pull the tip board and have that Tatooine Sunset and that deli sandwich, which I can't remember the name of it. Cheers, fresh baked. That we know is amazing. But I'm really curious about this thing. That's the Pajali wrap or Pahali. I'm going to go Pajali wrap. And mortadella ham, capicola, whipped burrata, which is that spread that's on the top half of the pita, and then pistachio pesto wrapped in pita. So it's not a traditional deli sandwich in the sense that, well, no part of this really is traditional other than the actual cured meats, the deli meats. But it's just mortadella ham and capicola. Two kinds of meats. Usually you get 3 or 4. I'm a little concerned about the pistachio pesto, to be honest. I've never had pesto in a deli sandwich before, nor am I familiar with whipped burrata. So this is not a classic deli sandwich, but we're gonna hope it works. Also, a bit of pita bread, that's new. Well, I mean, the deli meats taste pretty standard. A little bit of spice. I didn't really get a lot. We'll try it again. So far, neither the pistachio pesto nor the whipped burrata are presenting very much. All I can taste right now is just the pita bread and the deli meats. Not a lot of flavor there. It's not a very present flavor. It's more of a texture thing, if anything. As for the whipped burrata, not a lot of flavor. I mean, it's subtle. There is flavor, but it's very subtle. It doesn't, it's not very present in the way that mustard or mayonnaise would be. So really all you're getting is the cured meat, which is fine with me. I love deli meat. I dig it. Not just because it tastes good. Let me clarify that. I'm not saying it tastes good in the sense that, wow, what a great thing that they've created here. They haven't reinvented the sandwich at all. It's just proper deli meat. So that's good no matter how you have it. It's like you get a corn dog. It tastes like a corn dog. There aren't a lot of degrees of how good these things could be. It just tastes like regular deli meat. It's passable, and it's a great option. It's a great option, by the way, if you're not in the mood for a Ronto wrap. That used to be all they sell back there, which those are great, top 10. But if you want something quick, this is a no wait. There was zero wait on this on the mobile order. I ordered it and it was there waiting for me. And there's like a 30-40 minute wait inside. So it's a nice option to have instead of Ronto wrap if you're here in California. And one thing I will add, $14.99. It's a little pricey in my opinion for passable deli meat, reasonable deli meat, pita bread, and a little bit of sauce. $14 for a deli sandwich, in my opinion, is not a bargain. So the price is not right. Still, it tastes okay. And with that, let's get into the tip board. I predicted, by the way, that ride resistance was going to jump up from 60 by the time we got here. But we'll start, as usual, with Alice in Wonderland. Standard 25 minutes, Astro Orbiter Light at 5 minutes. Astro Orbiter, I've even been talking about Astro Orbiter. I thought I was talking about Autopia, but Astro Orbiter is 5 minutes. At first I was like, it's Astro Orbiter, but no, it's never 5 minutes. Like at 9 a.m. maybe. Autopia 15, that's light. 220 return time, that's now. Buzz Lightyear 25, light. Return time of now. Casey Jr. 5 minutes. Dumbo 25 minutes, kind of light. Finding Nemo 20 minutes, kind of light. Haunted Mansion 55, that's what we saw earlier. Return time 4 hours for Lightning Lane, but that's obviously that's the highest demand attraction right now. Haunted Mansion and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Indiana Jones, it's closed, standard. Small World closed, not standard. What's up with that? Let's see, Jungle Cruise 30, pretty standard. Manatee 45, Winnie the Pooh 10. Matterhorn 40, that's light. Return time of 2.5 hours. 40 minutes for Matterhorn. 20 minutes for Smuggler's Run. Mr. Toad's 20 minutes. How is Toad's and Smuggler's Run the same wait time? Honestly. Peter Pan, 35. We're going to put that to the test today. Last week at DCA, we did a test run. We went to Toy Story, and I made a prediction how long it would take, and then I tried to see how much that, how close I was, and I wasn't very close. It was measured at 45, or I mean, it was posted at 45, and it wound up taking 28 minutes, I think it was. 28 minutes. So we'll see if we can improve on that. We're going to Peter Pan today. Pirates, 30. Roger Up, 40. Light. Return time of just an hour and a half. Space Mountain, 45. Return time in 4 hours. Star Tours, 20. Return time of now. Okay. It went down. I'm gonna have to find a new line of work. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Storbeck Land, 10 minutes. Tiana's 85. It went up. I should go back there and see where that back of the queue is now. Return time in 7 hours at 9:20. And that's it. Wow. I'm really shocked. Really, really shocked. Oh look, Ray and Vi together. All right, well, we just saw Smuggler's Run incredibly at 20 minutes. I'm still reeling from that tip board. Still, I mean, when is this gonna, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? Has Disney been too effective in charging insane prices to keep people out of the park? Are they still making money? I gotta wonder. Anyway, that's a conversation. Look at that, 20, it hasn't even been 5 minutes. Maybe 5 minutes. It's posted now at 45. That 20 was a definite call to action. That's for sure. We'll do our usual investigative reporting on this. Take a quick walk in there, see if we can't see how realistic that is. 40, it went from 20 to 45, just like that. Well, just like last week, that's a no. If I saw that at 20 minutes, or rather if I saw a 20-minute posted wait time, walked into that queue and saw that when I made that right turn, I would have been doing exactly what I'm doing right now, and that is turning around, finding something else to do. Because you don't want to see people posted out there at that point in the queue. Now, getting back to the point that I just touched on
lighting lane down
a bit ago, which, you know, I hadn't planned on talking about this, but it's worth noting, it's worth having a conversation about. This may be, you know, a question for future study, for a future video perhaps, and I might need the help of really smart people to help me figure it out. But I know that there's a mathematical formula to arrive at whether or not a thing is beneficial to Disney, or to any company for that matter. You know, you raise the prices to $200 a ticket, and people can say, I'm not going to Disneyland anymore. That's it. You know, that's the final straw. And the question is, does that response from any guest make Disney nervous? Hey guys, what's up? Or is that exactly what they are expecting or hoping for? A lot of people have said in the past, oh, they should raise prices to, you know, thin out the crowds, and it doesn't work. It hadn't worked in the past. That people still kept coming. There was, you know, especially for Magic Keys. There's no limit that I found. Magic Keys just will sell and sell and sell and sell and sell. But tickets, single day tickets, is another conversation. But that is a theory, right? So what is that number? Like, Disney has visibly achieved a goal, if that was their goal, of using ticket prices to reduce the crowd size. I'm not sure if it was, but that is what's happened. It is visible. The parks today, the December 10th, should be significantly more busy than they are today, than what we found so far.
You match the description of a reported resistance supporter. Let's see some identification. Understood. And why might you be on the tube? Booked a little late, did we? Carry on. We will be watching.
Don't resist. You're not strong enough.
Oh, damn.
The First Order welcomes your allegiance.
Move.
Good luck. Here we go.
If the spy is here, there will be others.
Sir.
We will find them.
Understood, sir. The resistance activity has been reported. This outpost.
The question that I would ask the smart person is, what is the percent drop-off in attendance? If pre-COVID or whatever it was 100, have they lost, due to the price changes, have they lost 10% of their audience, 10% of their guests, 10% of their ticket sales? What is that number? And then figure that out and compare it to what they've gained by increasing the ticket prices by $40 or $50 a ticket since then. Want some milk? I'd have to go back and look. I don't know what the actual ticket prices were, you know, from 4 or 5 years ago, but I want to say it's like $140, $150. That sounds reasonable. That sounds about right. So if they're still selling 90% of the tickets that they sold in the past, but at a $50 increment, I think they're winning, right? That's a win for them. They haven't lost enough guests to They haven't lost enough guests to make it not financially a win. Meanwhile, the parks are less busy. That's a win for the guest. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that is a reality. That the parks, they have, if that was the goal, they have achieved it. Especially here during the holidays, when it was extra bonkers, when it was unbearable at times, when you couldn't move. I remember being here during Candlelight Procession many, many years ago. It was the most terrifying night of my life. I was trying to exit at the same time that Candlelight was happening. I stood there without being able to move. I was, like this against, just surrounded by people. I couldn't even, I was taking, inch steps, moving forward inch by inch, right about City Hall. And I thought we were going to get trampled. It was the scariest thing I've ever experienced. I know that's not ideal either. $200 a ticket isn't ideal. $270 if you get the park hopper, but neither is that. Smart people. Tell me what percentage slower, what percentage fewer guests are here today than there were on a December 10th on a Tuesday in 2018. I would even accept 2022. Look at this. But it's not $200 today, by the way. It's $160. Have they done it? This is positively delightful right here. That was one of the smoothest walkthroughs, one of the smoothest transitions from Galaxy's Edge to Fantasyland that I think I've ever had. And I've been doing this a long time. And in terms of doing this report, the State of Disneyland Report, obviously I've had quieter transitions, but not at this time of day, on this day, a Monday or a Tuesday. Incredible. Pinocchio? There's no queue out here. Nobody. There is, it's open. There's guests in there, but that's probably 5 or 10 minutes. Oh look, Snow White. Let's see. Her Enchanted Wish. How's it going? All right. Right on. I posted at 15. I mean, that's about right. 15 minutes. Easy peasy. No difficulty whatsoever. And then there's Peter Pan. I'm sure it says 30 over there. Wait. It doesn't even say 30. Achtung Lebens. The dial is like down, but I think it says 20. I think they got that at 20. I gotta find out. So we got a lot going for us here at Peter Pan. They're not using all of the extended queue over there. There's 2 chains down here. 3 switchbacks here are not being used. 4. So there's a lot in their favor. This is definitely a go in my opinion, but how long is it actually? I've never actually segmented this queue. And normally the quest here, normally the quest here would be to determine if we can beat the posted wait time. But normally the posted wait time at Peter Pan, it's almost like they etch it in stone, 40 minutes, right? No matter when you come here, it's 40 minutes, no matter what. I don't know if I've ever seen a posted 20-minute wait time past 9 a.m. Honestly, you know what? I have to double check the app. Is that on the board? Right, let's double check the app. Let's see. Well, now it's saying it's closed. That's what it was. It was closed and now it just reopened. So let's give it a minute. Let's give it a minute and let's give them a chance to update the posted wait time because I feel like it's almost cheating. It's almost too easy. It's not a test at all. Okay, so they finally got the tip board right. They've got the Peter Pan is being open. Tip board shows 30 minutes. I'm guessing she's about ready to update that board. There you go. About ready to change that to 30 now. There you go, 30 minutes. Boy, look, Disney is still the king of operations. I don't care what anybody says. They are the king of operations. Whether or not, do we get in this queue? Is it, you know, I'm not trying to beat the queue necessarily. I just want to see how accurate it is. So let's do some math. Let's figure this out. I'm going to say that's maybe 4 minutes there. To there, 3. That little section there is probably another 5. What are we at, 12 now? And 3 that way, 15. 8 minutes in the little, the 8 minutes in the covered area there. What did I say? Was that 18? Now 26, 4. We're going to call it an even 30. I think they got it right. We're going to call this 30. Let's see if it is. Let's get in this queue at 2:32. Hi, how are you? Turn on my stopwatch here. Hi, guys. And we'll start market time here. I'm going to call this an even 30. I think they're right. And I'm going to call this little section right here. By the time we get back to that lamp, it'll have been hopefully about 4 minutes. There we go. We've arrived at that lamp post. I was hoping for 4 minutes. Did not get it. That was optimistic. That was aggressive, I think, a little bit. That actually took 8 minutes to handle what I call Merlin's Corner. 8 minutes. That's more than I was expecting. That was 6 minutes probably would have been a more conservative guess. 4 minutes is aggressive. We've been going. It's been sticky already. We just got in this queue, but it's been going really sticky. It's as if there's lightning or something going on here. Arriving here at the threshold, which will be my next point of measure, the inner chain to this threshold before we turn right. That took us 4 minutes, so we're 12 minutes in already. 30 minutes is looking sketch.
Then you have to call the lead.
That's me in my head this whole time. The TikTok rock. The time is ticking. Actually, things picked up a little bit in this outside bullpen. That took us 10 minutes, which is still more than I thought. I figured 8. But we've reached the threshold here at the 10 minutes, so things need to pick up a little bit when we get into the indoor portion of the queue, the covered area. 3 minutes to take that stretch from the threshold into this interior covered area, which I estimated at 8 minutes in here. But I think we're going to have to do significantly better than that to make 30 minutes. What's our margin of error here? Plus or minus 10%? I gotta give myself some wiggle room. Is it pass fail on 30 minutes only, or do I get a margin of error? Do I get 3 minutes? Do I get 10%? Good news is that this is taking less time. This covered area, which I estimated 8 minutes, we're at 27:43 so far. We've been in this queue for 27 minutes, and this particular lap, as it's called on this stopwatch, has been just a minute and just under 2 minutes. So we'll be out of here in 5 at the outside, 4 maybe if we're lucky, which takes us to 30 minutes to get to that point there, and then it's just 2 or 3 minutes to get from there, I think, to the vehicle. This last part always moves quicker than you think it will. And that actually did just take a little under 5 minutes. We are now at 30 minutes and 50 seconds to this point. So we might come in at least with a margin of error, question mark, hopefully. And finally, we are on the final stretch. 3:30, well, coming up on 34 now. We'll be in our vehicle before 35, so we'll call that a win. They could wait close enough for me. I'll take it. Oh, it's not 30 minutes exactly or nothing, right?
Straight on Tomorrowland.
4.5 minutes for 2 minutes of magic and wonder. That's a fair trade, in my opinion. That is a fair trade. Let's get back to work. There's that new safety spiel. I kind of like it. I kind of dig it. All right, where were we? We were looking at queues. Mr. Toads. Oh, it's coming out here into the common areas, but looks like they've chained off sections of the queue. That's not ideal. Yeah, you can't. They're sending guests straight into the back. They're not using these switchbacks out here, so it's not. It's posted at 10 minutes. It looks worse than it is. I'm not sure if it's 10 minutes. It's probably closer to 15. But there's another example of Disney overestimating demand today. Oh my gosh. You can't see it, but I can. That's too far away for you to see. But I just turned around and saw Dumbo. Guests making a U-turn up there. You guys, they're making a U-turn. Oh my gosh. It's posted at 25. No chance. Normally I have to go around towards Casey Jr. to get a good idea of how big the queue is, but we're just gonna walk back here real quick because, yeah, they're turning right here. Wow. Under 25 for sure. They're not using any of this rear queue back here. They're ready for it. It's not chained off. But look at that. I mean, I'm telling you, I gotta come up with some kind of new theory. I thought the price thing was doing it, but it's tier 3. That's low enough to bring in more guests. Is even $164 too much? I know I alluded to that actually when we were talking about this theory that I had initially about how price was dictating how park attendance. And I suggested a while back that really it's just tier 0 and maybe tier 1 that that moves the needle for guests, that gets them to come in. Tier 0, tier 1, or the 3-day ticket for $67 a day. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. I think even tier 3 at $164 is perhaps more than guests can bear. I mean, well, I shouldn't say all of them, but enough to make itself known here in the park. Line starts here for Casey Jr. Just saw a train take off. If they're running 2 trains, another one should be pulling in right now. This is super light. Golly. This is super light. Even for 2 trains. But if there's just 1 train, then it's really light. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, so 2 trains. So even for 2 trains, though, this is a short queue. It's going to take you 5 minutes to ride Casey Jr. today. 5 minutes. So it's either that, and this is a viable conversation. It's either that, or Haunted Mansion and Tiana's Bayou Adventure are doing an exceptional. What if those 2 closures have been hiding this whole time? Because I'm just going back to like 6, 10, 12 months ago doing these reports, and I'm like, oh God, it's like intense or whatever, and it's busy. It feels less busy today during Christmas than it did during the summer or the spring. What if those 2 attractions being closed has been hiding the lack of crowds in the parks because they displaced those guests into other queues. Today, now that Haunted Mansion is open, now that Tiana's Bayou Adventure are open, both with standby. What's up? Hi guys, how are you? Those attractions have pulled a significant number of guests out of other queues and into their queue. Meanwhile, also, by the way, I should note that it's 3:15. And should be no, that's right. The 2:30 parade already fired. What if? Boy, that's a really, really good question and something that needs further reflection, I think. But that could be. They've been hiding it. It's been like this for a long time. Is what I'm saying. Nothing has changed. Things haven't changed in the last 6 months. It's just been hiding. It's been hidden behind 2 major attractions being closed. Meanwhile, Mad Tea Party is maybe 2 rotations. I'm on the opposite side. Normally I'd be over there by the tree checking out that queue, but I can see it from here. No, it's still just 1 rotation right now. Everybody in that queue right now is getting in the next batch of teacups. Those sugar cubes will be having themselves a good old time very soon. Alice in Wonderland is posted at 30, I think. It is stretched out. This is actually kind of longish for Alice. Longer than usual. Anytime it goes past the mushroom, that's considered a long queue for Alice, in my opinion. But still manageable. That's still actually, I've done this queue. I've done this, and it's just another couple minutes to get to the normal start point. That's a 30-minute queue. Anyway, I can't, now my head is just, I am completely obsessed with this idea right now. I can barely continue my normal operations. I can barely continue standard Recon right now talking about attractions because all I can think about is what the math is. How many guests, now I have to know how many guests are in the Haunted Mansion at one time, be that in the queue or in the actual ride vehicle. How many guests are in Tiana's Bayou Adventure, same thing. Now Haunted Mansion's been a little bit less apparent because they've been in the ride, but they haven't been in the queue. That virtual queue is hiding all those guests in that queue right now. How many guests fit in the Haunted Mansion queue? 1,000? I don't know. I need smart people to help, or I'm gonna have to go in there and start counting heads. Empty. Just about empty. Look at that. You could do this ride in 15 minutes right now. Storybook Land. That's half full. Maybe not even, maybe a third. Are the other 2/3 of the Storybook Land queue, are the other 2/3 of those guests in the Haunted Mansion right now? Oh my God, okay. Add up the guests in Haunted Mansion, add up the guests for Standby, and add up the guests for Standby and Tiana's. Put those together. How's it go? Call that 1,000 each? I mean, is that, I don't know. Let's just pretend it's 1,000. If it's 2,000 total, divide that 2,000 by, I don't know, 25 reasonable, demand attractions. Maybe not Storybook Land. Hey, how's it going? Maybe not Storybook Land, maybe not Tea Party, but there's got to be 20 attractions out there that people are like really desperate to see. That's 100 guests per attraction. That's if you spread them out even equally. 100 guests from each one of those 20 attractions are now in Haunted Mansion or Tiana's. How many? What's 100 guests look like in a standby queue? I don't know. Never mind that. We gotta get our heads right again. We're going to Toontown. Check in on Roger Rabbit and Runaway Railway, Gadget's Coaster. Has anybody ever said Chip and Dale's Gadget Coaster? Has anyone ever called it Chip and Dale's Gadget Coaster? Raise your hand. Put it in the comments. Have you ever called it out loud Chip and Dale's Gadget Coaster? I can barely get myself to say it right now. And this attraction, this land has been open for a while, and I still can't say it. Pop it in here though. Pop it in here. We saw Roger Rabbit at an incredibly low 40-minute wait on the tip board. Was it 40 or 45? One of those two? Well, things have changed since then. Posted 65 minutes as we enter standby queue. Let's go find the back. Usually it doesn't take long, and it didn't take long. We found it already. So that's probably a legit 65. Basically, what you want, what you're hoping for when you get to Roger Rabbit, is something at least by the prop room around the corner, preferably even, where Baby, whatever his name is, Baby, what's his name? Like, that would be better. We also don't want to see anybody in the lighting lane queue, so Roger Rabbit is a no-go. By the way, right now it is 3:23. here in Toontown. A nominal 40-minute wait time here at Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Nominal 40 minutes. This attraction still makes me really happy. It makes me really happy, this one. Oh wow. Yeah, we're into the prop room. That's good. The back of the queue is here, but it's loosely packed. Very loose queue. It's not dense at all, not compacted. Free flying, free moving. Not a lot of, there's a lot of space in between guests. The closer guests are together, the more compacted it is, the longer your wait, obviously. And it usually gets compacted because people have been standing around. The fact that there's, hey guys, when you see a queue with a lot of space in between the guests, that means that they've been moving. They're moving at a regular interval. They're not stopped and cramped, because the longer they stand there still doing nothing, the more compressed they get closer and closer, because people just want to keep filling in that available space. They want to keep doing that. It's human nature, it's human tendency to want to feel like you're getting somewhere and not just standing there. You want to feel like you're getting somewhere. And so it's natural for the queue to compress. That happens when they've been standing around a while. All right. Whistling. There you go. I love whistling. Whistling, did you know what they say about whistling? A person who whistles, or even hums, or scats, which I do those things a lot. I can't whistle very well, but I can hum and scat. They say that people who do those things are generally happy people. You are an amiable person if you find yourself habitually whistling, humming, or scatting. Which brings us to Minnie's house. 20 minutes. Probably not. It never is. It always looks like it's going to be longer. Oh, they've got her out here at the tea party. I love it. That's my favorite. They've got her at the tea party today, which is great. 30 minutes for Mickey's house. We won't test that today. Oh man, we're getting a magic hour already. These shows are starting or ending earlier. It's only 3:27. Where we find Chip and Dale's Gadget Coaster, no thank you, posted at 30 minutes. And probably that, maybe 5 or 10 minutes longer. 30 is optimistic, I think. Generally, I see a 30-minute posted wait time. I want to be around that corner a little bit, towards the frogs back there. Although I think that is less than 30 if I were to actually wait. So yeah, you're looking at probably 30 to 35 right here. You guys remember the drama around this park when it first opened? And all the little roots, the tree roots were flaking, and they were like low quality materials used to make them or whatever. And then there was a sinkhole right here, that little tree at the stump. There was they had to rebuild that area around the tree. Good times, right? I point that out because today's environment or whatever, it tends to, they get excited about every dramatic thing, and we reported on it. They fixed it. It's fine. It just, a problem happens. They take care of it, and then they move on. What's going on with Smart World? Looks kind of. Oh no, I thought we might getting a break today, but no. It looks quiet out here. Not a lot of guests accumulated out here, but this is a big old space. But you can see the extended queue is full, and it's not even dark yet. It's posted at 40 minutes. That's probably safe. They're not using all of it, I'll say that. The two outer chains out here. Let's get closer. Yeah, the two outer chains out here aren't being used, so that's about 8 minutes worth of savings there. But man, yeah, I love Smart World. I love Smart World during the holidays. It might be one of the greatest things they've ever done. Smart World Holiday might be one of the most genius things that Disney's ever done. Normally, I'm not an overlay guy. I mean, I like Haunted Mansion Holiday. It's a nice change. You know, I do miss Jingle, Jingle Cruise though. But normally I'm like, whatever. You know, I just like classic Disney most part. But that Small World Holiday is spectacular. Sign says Matterhorn over here. There she is. What a beaut. You know, I've been coming to this park every week for going on 13 years now. And almost every time I take this in this exact view right here, I still can't believe they did this.
Do you want hot sauce pen?
And that's 60 years ago. 60, is that right? 60? I still can't believe they made this. And it looks better today than it did when they first built it, Monorail. Used to be just a big hill of dirt right here. Holiday Hill, big hill of dirt. Posted wait time says 45 minutes. Lightning Lane is starting to draw a crowd. That's decent. Standby is left. Oop, pardon me, guys. Left.
Lightning lane is to your right.
So that's pretty intense so far. Don't like to see left. They're not doing tree lamp though. Tree lamp is not in play. I don't know. I don't like that 45 to be honest. From what I'm seeing so far. Hi guys. All right. Because I'm expecting a lot of extended queue out here. I'm expecting to see something. And we are into extended 1 and extended 2, but not extended 3. Are we at extended 3? No, just extended 2. Each extension is about 10 minutes each. No, about 7 minutes each. This is extended 3, where the bobsleds come down. I've never had occasion to measure extended 4, which would go to the end of that rocks, probably, and then 5 down to that tree, perhaps. Usually it's no more than extended 3, but about 7 minutes for each of these sections. So that's okay. It's not terrible. I don't know though. I don't know if I'd call that 45 or not. But for whatever reason, this is one of those attractions I don't mind waiting in. I feel like I'm living history when I get into that queue, because it's so much like it was before. It's so much like it was, you know, for all the years that I've been coming here. Even though it is different, but the fact that it's an exterior queue and wraps around the mountain like that, like it did back in the day, they didn't build some kind of new fancy queue for it. It doesn't have a new fancy queue. Maybe that's the reason why I like it. You know. I don't know. I mean, I do like fancy new queues, but this one just makes me happy. I don't mind the music. Like, when are you ever going to be happy to hear? What is it? Polka? I don't know what you call that. That Swiss music. Like, you go home, you gonna put that on Spotify? Probably not. But I will jam to that all day when I'm here in the Matterhorn queue. I will jam to that. For 45 minutes, easy. That might be the limit though. 45 might be my limit for Matterhorn. I would do 60 for science. What would you do? What's the longest you would wait in the Matterhorn queue? We saw a Matterhorn queue out there in extended 3 or beyond, extended 4, extended 5. You see that? Are you getting in? Like, how many of you are getting into that queue? Hi, how are you? Suddenly I find myself wanting to go on Finding Nemo or the monorail. Sometimes you just have to go on Finding Nemo. I can't do it today though. As usual, I'm on a time schedule, and we saw that 20-minute posted standby a little bit ago on the tip board. That would have been very inviting. It's not full. There's a lot of gaps in those chains. But I don't know if I'd call that 20 minutes or not. I feel like it takes 20 minutes sometimes just to get from here to there. Just to get to your boat, I feel like it takes 20 minutes sometimes, because the cycle time is just agonizingly long. You could sit there and be standing in the covered area inside in the waiting area there for 10 minutes, waiting for your sub, because it takes forever to get the folks in and out. Last guest going into that sub there, which means that they are loading both sides though. That's good. Hi, how are you? Which does kind of effectively cut your wait time in half when they're running both sides, when they're loading both sides. That means the queue that you see out here that says 20 right now is actually, you know, it would say 40 if they were running just one sub at a time. Will Autopia continue this trend of low wait times that we saw on the tip board? It always seems to be the case, you guys. I'll do the tip board at like, I don't know, 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that, and then I'll get out into the park and the wait times are longer than they said on the tip board. It was 15 minutes when we checked it, which that's about what it is. Oh, that's it right there, that little stretch right there. There's a few guests out there in the early part of the risers, and I do not think they're setting them in the rotunda. So that may not even be 15 minutes. Let's see. Oh, well, they're running just 3 lanes out of 4. Lane 2 is out. So that's going to increase your wait time by a quarter. But still, 15 seems reasonable. I didn't even check, actually. Let's go back out there. I forgot to check. It's not even 15. It's 10. Man. And now I got my head. I got my head out of that thought process for a minute, but now I'm back on it again. Well, I guess it could be both, right? It could be both, because the price changed. The last price change happened while Haunted Mansion, right? Were Haunted Mansion and Tiana's both on virtual queue only at that time? I can't remember off the top of my head. So that could have had, you know, that's part of it. And then the other part is those attractions pulling standby guests from all the other attractions into those two. There's something there. There's some music. I can barely hear the music. Am I going deaf? Oh, there's a little bit. I just heard a little bit. I heard a... There we go. Okay. I think I am, though, legitimately going deaf. I must say. For real. No joke. They got a single rider sign out here. That's interesting. They are now actively requesting guests to take that option. That sign was not here before. They had that sign just over on the other side. Posted here at 45 minutes. Feature, not a glitch. I wonder why they did that. Watch that extended queue back there be empty. Posted 45. It's been 45 for a while. It was 45 when we saw a tip board. And it's been 45 probably ever since then, which has been about an hour at least, right? Hour and a half. Wow, look at that. I just wish that astral orbiter worked again. That would be so cool to see that going off right now. Okay. Well, we have that at least. I mean, that's standard, right? You're gonna get that no matter what. This right here is empty. Section 3, empty. Section 2, empty. And Section 1 is full-ish, but not even all the way full. There are switchbacks on the outer side that are not being full. This is one of the least full queues for Space Mountain that I've seen in quite a while, especially during the State of Disneyland reports. And I make that observation because I get here normally at about the same time on the same kind of day, so it's very common, very routine for me to be seeing queues in the same typical space, same typical time and place. Light, 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 light. A little bit up here. There are places at Disneyland where for me it's the price of admission. Up here, Rivers of America, Main Street, literally anywhere. Secret Path, Tom Sawyer Island. Price of admission. Wonderful. Well, I feel like we just gotta play out the string at this point. We're gonna wind up Astro Blasters, Star Tours, and Big Thunder, but I don't think we're gonna find anything. Well, I know we're not gonna find anything at Big Thunder, but I don't think we're gonna find much here at Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, 20 minutes standby posted. A couple guests getting in there in Lightning Lane. Not much. Standby's actually poking out a little bit. It must be that they need to do a little queue maintenance. I'm guessing, because with a 20-minute posted, but a queue sticking out the back like that, they probably have not moved the queue into Pixie Hollow. Yeah, are they making a U-turn right here? Yeah, they are. So they need to open up Pixie Hollow a little bit, but it's not a big deal. It's a 20-minute queue, easy, especially with no Lightning Lane. 20 minutes, no problem, probably not even that. Something about watching the Astro Orbiter run with the Christmas music in the background. We're gonna take this in for a second. Just don't think I could ever get tired of that. I just don't think. I mean, I'd never run out of love for the Main Street Christmas loop. Hey! Never gonna get tired of that. Unfortunately, it has to fade out as we approach our last stop for the night. Frontierland, fade in. Frontierland Christmas music, which is also very, very good, but just not quite as good as Main Street. Hi guys. Thanks guys. It never fails, man. How many times have I flipped the button, hit the button, and there it is, fresh back. There's nothing to do here in Frontierland other than to enjoy the music. We're closing it out here. Big Thunder is closed. So we'll just do a little sign out here somewhere around the Mark Twain perhaps. Trains are on the track, but the walls are still up. Not all of them. Some of the walls have come down. This is, by the time we do the show again, matter of fact, by the time we do our next construction report, Big Thunder, I believe, will be online again. Hi. I hear the sound. One of my best friends here at Disneyland. I hear the sound of the Mark Twain. She's going to help me close the show out. Thank you guys very much for enjoying this report with us, this State of Disneyland report. Fascinating development, I have to say. Fascinating development. I was expected just to find a lot of crowds today, Tier 3. That sort of situation has evolved into something more. There seem to be more factors in what's happening with the park and the crowds today. It's far more elaborate and deep than just price. There's so many factors. Tiana's, and Haunted Mansion, those standby queues opening up, that's making a big difference in the park today. And I feel like more research is done. Wait until I start doing the math on this. I can't wait. I can't wait until I start doing the math on this. I can't wait. I hope you join me. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you like the show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbake. Also help or consider using our travel affiliate, as we mentioned earlier in the show, GetAwayToday. There's a link in the description for that. Make all your plans, travel plans with them. Follow us on Instagram at _freshbake, on Twitter at freshbakedisney, that's freshbake.e, and on TikTok at freshbakedisney. Also join our newsletter. I'm gonna get back. Been light. Holidays have been messing me up big time. It's consumed all of my time. I've had very little time to do anything besides the bare minimum that I've been doing on this channel. But stay tuned for more on the Fresh Baked newsletter. There's a link in the description to join. And then that's it, guys. Just, you know, be safe and be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.